Harris, who's supposed to be an independent American Party candidate running for the office of President of the United States, on the road, on the phone, sorry. And we're going to have Louis Cordone, who's going to be talking about mortgages for vets. So, Jim, what's going on?
Not too much. I'm just glad that I remembered that today was Saturday, unlike last week.
Oh, what happened last week?
Well, it was interesting because I came last Saturday is my first day back from vacation, so I go into work and I'm working, and unfortunately my store manager had an emergency at work or at home and had to leave. She's like, "You don't mind hanging around till 4, right?" And I was like, "Well, no, of course not. You got an emergency." And then about 1:50, I was like, "I know I'm missing something." For whatever reason, that first day of the week, I thought it was Monday. And so then that's when I had to text and go, not going to make the show. So at least I remember what day it is this week. So I'm doing better than last week. Let's just put it that way.
Well, we had a primary election, and I'd like to congratulate our endorsed candidates that made it through the primary and that are either going to the general election to run a contested race or going to the general election because they're now declared the winner. Danny Tarkanian for Congressional District 3, Victoria Seaman, State Senate District 9, John Piero, State Assembly District 4, Melody Howard, State Assembly District 14, Brent Jones, State Assembly District 35, Jim Marchant, State Assembly District 37, John Moran, University Board of Regents, District 13, Annette Levy, District Court Judge, Department 20, Richard Vaughn, Trustee, Clark County District A, Linda E. Young, Trustee, Clark County District C, Melissa Saragosa, Justice of the Peace Department 4, B.D. Yeager, Justice of the Peace Department 6, Amy Joanne Cellini, Justice of the Peace Department 14, and in Northern Nevada, Lisa Kresner, State Assembly District 26, Chris Carver, Carson City Mayor, Jenny Beckus, hope I pronounced that name, Breckus, Reno City Council Ward 1, and Vaughn Harthong, Washoe County Commissioner Ward number 4. So congratulations to those candidates, and I hope to see a successful repeat and even more candidates that we endorse winning the general election. Isn't that right, Troy?
Absolutely. I was telling you before we come on air, I was so doing the happy dance when Tarkanian beat Michael Roberson. How the lies they told in his campaign commercials. He's fiscally conservative, shoved a $1.5 billion tax increase up our, and I'm just like, I don't understand.
And he's for amnesty.
Amnesty, but yet he wants them to have driver's licenses, the the DACs, the driver authorization cards, and then sitting there. I'm honored to approve this message, standing next to the Rhino governor. Just like, what the hell is going on, man? I don't understand.
Yeah,
there we go.
That's better.
I gotta turn the mic on.
You know what? I think we have to have a pre-check before we actually walk in this place, Mr. Operator.
And the other race that I was really glad to see was Hafen go down. Judge Hafen.
Oh, Conrad Hafen.
Yeah, dude. After that stunt he pulled, he really what was he thinking when he pulled that stunt?
You know what makes me happy?
What's that?
And not to discredit any of Dave Thomas's candidates, is because they hype him up, make him the judge maker, but his candidate came in dead last, which was Jeff Rogan, who ran against Rebecca Kearns and B.D. Yeager for that seat. So,
yeah, that made me happy too. I like that. Yeah. I think the only one of his candidates I actually liked was Amy Cellini.
Yeah, Amy Cellini. She's my girl. She's always been my girl. Yeah, I'm like, Amy, what are you doing with him?
Well, that's good. That's because she's blonde, Steve. Let's be honest.
So,
I mean, let's be honest. Hey, and I'm not just holding that against Steve. I like Amy too. I'm just saying that.
Is that because she's blonde?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I was glad. I always like when people that I know will do a good job and have run several times before and come up short, and they finally push through. I really
Well, she almost beat
good.
Ann Zimmerman when she ran against her.
She did.
She came really, really, really close, and then the only reason why she didn't get the appointment to the seat that Beeger Yeager just is now holding is because, as Steve Sisolak said in the county commission meeting, is because too many high-profile community leaders sent endorsement letters, and he wasn't going to be pushed into appointing somebody. He wasn't going to be influenced by the community. So,
yeah, that's almost like in a job interview when they go, "You interviewed real well, but you're overqualified." Yeah, sorry, I can't give you the job.
So apparently, Amy Cellini was overqualified to be justice of peace.
Dude, I don't even know how to respond to that crap.
Honestly, that kind of sounds.
She should have ran for district court judge.
Yeah, the other one that I was really excited that got smoked was Lucy Flores. That whole commercial. She's walked in our shoes. Bullshit.
Yeah, she never walked in my shoes.
She never walked in my shoes.
Because if she walked in my shoes, she would have had a gun in her hand and shoot up some Iraqis down.
Absolutely.
But one of the races that I liked watching, although I wish she had a little bit more, was the Annette Levy race when she took second place. And the fact that when she went and she interviewed for the appointment for appellate court and the appointment for district court judge, they said that the only reason why they did not send her name to the governor is because they felt that she was unelectable because her name wasn't popular enough. Not that she wasn't qualified. Not that she wasn't experienced. Not that she wasn't knowledgeable. Because I sat there and watched.
That's profile.
The only reason why is because they felt that she wasn't electable. Is why they didn't send her name to the governor. That was the only reason. Now she has proved that she's electable because she beat out a sit-in judge and somebody that's been in this community for years, which was Scott Holper and Catherine Ramsey. So there you go.
Well, Troy, it's not actually profiling though, because you're allowed to profile as long as it's not Islamic extremist.
Yeah, as long as you don't have a badge.
Oh, as long as you're Israeli, it's okay.
Yeah, and you don't have a badge, and you call yourself a popo, you can profile.
Man, I don't even know where to go with that one. She was unelectable.
Unelectable.
Yeah.
But you know what? I hope she just beat the crap out of the
absolutely.
incumbent. Who's appointed, by the way, not elected.
Yeah, because I'm telling you,
I don't believe in nepotism. How are you going to have a husband and wife, which is Susan Johnson, Eric Johnson, on the same 8 judicial district court judge seat, and don't think that when they vote on stuff, administrative stuff, they're not voting the same?
Well, hey, you want to talk about nepotism? Look at my race in Assembly District 12. Orenshaw's mom had it for 6 terms before him, and he's going for what? I think term number 5?
Well, in that race, in all due respect, mom is not there anymore. I'm talking about
at the same time.
Existing husband and wife at the same time. I mean, if the voters don't see clear through that, I don't know what they're going to see clear through. And this is the guy that never did a civil calendar. This is a guy that never wrote the front of a check. So I don't know how big business is endorsing him. He's always writing the back of the check. He never signed the front of a check. He's never had a civil claim. So I don't know. It just amazes me the way voters vote.
You just said something really big right there. Signing the front of a check.
Yeah.
And we got a bunch of people out there that never signed the front of a check, but yet they think they know how economics works.
Yeah. I signed the front of a check for like 10 years when I used to have my collection company.
When I had my auto shop, same thing.
It was very heartbreaking to sign that check because I wasn't getting paid. Everybody else got paid. The vendors got paid. The employees got paid. Sanson, no, he ain't getting paid.
But that comes along with the territory. I mean, you know what though? I found it kind of rewarding to be able to know that I'm supporting somebody, wanting to live their life, and have a life with their wife and their kids and stuff like that. I was glad I was able to employ people and create that.
Well, good for you. But I was a little pissed off because I couldn't get paid.
That sounds like that's a you problem.
That's a you problem. I mean, why have a business if you're not going to get paid?
If you didn't pay you, That's on you. You're the ones writing the checks. Where do you want me to go with this, Steve?
I didn't want to be in collections. I am a collection company. You know. So, but anyways, so you wanna like, since I don't think our presidential candidate's gonna call in, so his loss, you know.
Well, you know what? I don't even know where to go with that because he was on that panel.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. You know, when you did that panel, there was 8 of them, if I remember right, from Independent American Party, the Green Party. There was the Veteran
American Party.
Yeah, the American Party. That was some of the bizarrest stuff I think I'd ever seen.
Welcome to America.
Oh my God!
Well, what I thought was interesting is the first question I asked him, and I said, "Well, whether you like it or not, you're politicians now." And last time I checked, it still takes 272 electoral votes to win the presidency. So, how many states are you guys competing in? And that Green Party, we just ended up calling her pseudonym because her name was too hard to pronounce.
Pseudonym.
Yeah.
Pseudonym.
Yeah. And she told me, she goes, well, now that we've educated you that you were wrong, and I was like, it's in the Constitution. Have you read it? And so, she didn't like me much. But, yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting because, and here's my thing. I don't begrudge anybody for doing that. I mean,
no, not at all.
But that's part of the process. But my whole thing is I just don't understand how, like, the first election that you're ever going to run for in your life, you're going to run for president.
I mean, if you're going to step into a race, you have to have a clear and precise path to victory.
Yeah. Or at least understand what it's about.
Yeah.
And I'm coming from experience because I got talked into something in 2008. Mm-hmm. And I remember talking to you about it, and you were like, okay, you're going to run for the assembly. Cool. District 8? And I was like, yeah. And you're like, okay, cool. You're going to run against the
speaker.
The speaker. How much money can you raise? I was like, not really sure. And you're like, well, you better be looking at least $100,000. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, $100,000, really? And you're like, yeah. I think somebody talked you into something there.
Well, look at the candidate we had here last week, Kimberly Shanghai, who was promoted.
That was a couple weeks ago.
Was it a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, because I was in Phoenix.
Who was it? Were you?
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, the independent.
She had libertarian. Big
libertarian,
almost as big as all new media up there.
Yeah,
but right. I don't see nobody walking around with Republican, Democrat.
No.
With their logo, and I had to like squint to see
her name.
Her name.
You know, it's funny because I just ran into her 2 days ago at the Rebel stations right down the street from my house.
Station.
Yeah, right down the street from my house, and I'm like, this is a long ways from your district.
Yeah, and you're like, start shopping in your district, shit.
But no, she was actually because there's a UNLV campus over there. But
well, you were talking about
she's running more for who's
the Libertarians.
Yeah, well, the Libertarians, but who's actually in charge of it?
Brent Paginas.
Yeah, and you talked to her about that and said, I think you're promoting the Libertarian Party more than you are you.
Yeah.
So you were talking about a clear path to victory. You know, there's another reason why people run, and if you're going to jump into a presidential race like that, I mean, you need to be shaking the tree. You need to have something out there to at least be shaking the tree to get somebody's attention.
Yeah.
Kudos to you for having them on, Steve. I mean, and putting that thing together, and kudos for them guys showing up and everything. I haven't heard shit from them since.
Yeah, no.
Nothing.
Like, I heard from
they don't even make a peep.
I heard from Dr. Lynn Kahn. She's not even on the ballot for Nevada, and she said that she was going to try to raise like 5,200 signatures, I think, to get on the ballot, and that was a couple weeks ago, and I haven't heard anything since.
Yeah, so I'm with you though. Just why?
And that's why we allow the Democrats and Republicans to take charge in of every presidential election, going back to I don't know who, the founding fathers, and no other party could actually win.
Yeah, well,
and then we got what they say: if you go too far left, and you go too far right, you went too far.
Yeah. Yeah, this whole two-party system, That's one of the biggest things, because when I ran in 2014 and I went to go down to file, and it says, well, you need to be nominated by your party. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not able to just sign up and I'm not going to lie to you. I was a little green on that side of the fence before. I mean, that 2014 was a big eye-opener for me. You know what? If you want to run, you should just be able to go down and put your name on a ballot or file for office and start campaigning. And if you win, it's kind of like the nonpartisan stuff. The top 2 vote getters get to go. This whole Republican Democrat thing just drives me batshit crazy because, you just posted it the other day. I guess Tony Shelton left the Republican Party, became a nonpartisan independent in the thing. And, good for him. But my question is what took you so long? Because I figured that, I registered as a Republican the day I turned 18 in 1983. And in a family of Democrats. Hear me, in a family of Democrats. And when George Bush signed that Patriot Act into law, October 26, 2001, I'm like, dude, I marched my butt down there that day. I'm done. I am done. Because I battled. We didn't have social media back then.
Right.
I was phone calling, emailing. I was going to the offices here locally.
Right.
No, you don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And then it got passed. And I'm like, you know what? I walked into because at that time the Republican office was over by Arizona Charlie's.
Yeah, I remember.
And I went walking in there and they're like, hey, Troy, how's it going? And I'm like, screw you. And I showed them what I had done. And they're like, well, why did you do that? And I said, you do not get to trump my Fourth Amendment rights.
Yeah.
And, I cannot believe people hadn't seen that, because that's led to the NDAA. There's so much stuff going on because they think they know what's best for us.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's true. I think I know what's best for me and my family, not them.
Yeah, I think that's a tendency of when something like 9/11 happens or
Orlando.
Yeah, there's always an overreach, and I don't think people really truly realize that when a piece of legislation like that gets passed, they always try to say it's temporary, but once something like that happens,
kind of like sunset taxes.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing that government does once it's passed is ever temporary.
No, it's just more of a grab.
No.
Yeah. Well, all our presidential candidates not calling in, so we're going to go to our other scheduled candidate, which is Louis Cordone, and we're going to talk about veterans loans. That should be interesting. This is Steve Sanson, Jim Jonas, Troy Warren, Veterans of Politics. Don't go away, folks. Be right back.
My name is Heidi Hanus, and I'm a marriage and family therapist. I recently opened my own practice under the name of Faith Individual and Family Counseling in the area of Summerlin. I have been practicing family therapy for 14 years, and I work well with individuals, children, teens, couples, and most of all, families. I have experience in a variety of areas, which include family conflict, communication issues, grief, anxiety, depression, anger issues, addiction, adjustment to life changes, trauma, and most forms of mood disorder. The agency work I have done has given me the experience to work with all levels of issues from severe to mild. I believe in change and positive outcome. If you are interested to begin change, you can reach me at 702-370-4244 or hanUSA@cs.com. Thank you.
Nevada Legal Forms and Tax Services have been serving Nevada. Nevada Legal Forms and Tax Services, the reliable option for your legal and tax matters. The original do-it-yourself legal source store with paralegals, registered document preparers, and enrolled agents to assist you when you need it. Need help getting divorced, starting your business, or just filing your taxes? Nevada Legal Forms is there for you. Nevada Legal Forms has over 1,000 legal forms and do-yourself kits for all your everyday matters. Nevada Legal Forms, the best place to start. Nevada Legal Forms and Tax Services is not a law office or have attorneys on staff and cannot give legal advice.
Nevada Legal Forms, Charleston and Valley View. Call 702-870-0977 or online at nevadalegalforms.com.
Hi, my name's Annette Levy. Did you know that we usually elect judges based solely on name recognition? So here goes. My name's Annette Levy. My name's Annette Levy. My name's Annette Levy. Now, for those of you who might want to know a little more, I have 29 years legal experience, 15 years arbitrator, 11 years judge pro tem. I'm ethical. I'm experienced. I want to be your district court judge in Department 20. And by the way, my name's Annette Levy.
Paid for by the committee to elect Annette Levy. If you'd like to know more, visit her website at electannette.com.
We are back, folks. This is Steve Sampson, Jim Jonas, and Troy Warren, Veterans in Politics. We're here live with Louis Cordone, and we're going to talk about some veteran home loans. Louis, how you doing today, sir?
Good, Stevie. How are you?
I'm good. Tell us a little bit about you.
I was born a poor black child.
What the fuck is going on? Louis, I thought you was Italian.
Well, dark side of the neighborhood.
You like Pink Floyd, right? Dark Side of the Moon.
Well, disclaimer. I've known Louis Cordone for 20 years now.
Yes, you
a little
have.
over 20 years.
Yes, you have.
I was his neighbor.
Yes.
Back in March or April of '96.
Right.
That's how long. And we knew everybody in the neighborhood, Louis.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
And then something happened, and Louis blew up the damn neighborhood. And
I didn't do anything. This guy was putting up pearly gates in front of his house there, like it was, a fortress there. All of a sudden, I said, Steve, what are you doing? He says, they're coming. I said, who? The liberals. The liberals are coming. I said, I'm one next door to you. He said, you ain't coming.
I had cameras outside my house and a wrought iron fence secured the whole front of my house from everybody.
You have a moat full of alligators too?
Right. It got so bad as he couldn't even get in his own house.
I had a doorbell on the sidewalk.
Oh, shit.
What happened was the lovely Debbie at the time, which one was that? Number 2?
The number 2 ex-wife.
Number 2, yes. He built this whole thing. She went, thank you very much. See my lawyer. But I've known Steve for 20 years. I got to tell you something. Steve and I might not agree politically on certain things. I'm a Democrat. He's a Republican and conservative, and among other things. But his dedication of what he does, I respect more than anything. What he does for veterans is mind-boggling to me. I mean, the dedication he puts in. Too bad the people, last Tuesday that voted really don't get to know him personally. It's amazing. I've known him for 20 years, and like I say, politically we don't agree on a lot of things, but friendship and quality of person, you cannot beat Stevie Sampson.
Thank you, Louis, for that. I appreciate that. But let's get back to your bio.
Okay. That's right. Now, I'm originally from Buffalo, New York. I came to Las Vegas about 24 years ago. I came as a stand-up comic, actually. I came to do stand-up comedy.
I didn't even know that.
There you go.
Because I would have came over.
Well, he started off as a poor black child, so.
What else you gonna do?
Eating a pizza or eating some fried chicken?
Yeah, so Steve used to come to my house all the time to eat. You gotta admit, we ate good.
Oh, we did eat good. This guy in his backyard, man, looked like he was at Caesar's Palace.
Yeah.
Freaking statues.
We did that good. We could have had a Corleone wedding in my yard.
That's right.
But anyways, I came to Vegas. I was doing stand-up comedy. My wife was a processor for a mortgage company, and one day I'm sitting and I was working. I was doing some gigs here and there, and one day I'm sitting in bed. The way it used to be was if you worked for one comedy club, you couldn't work for another years ago. So it was like I was working once a month. I was making decent money, but once a month, and you got 2 children, and you want to put them through school, and it's like, and one day I'm sitting in the backyard with my wife, and I says, what am I going to do? I can't do this. I can't, neither this or I got to go on the road. And the whole purpose I came to Vegas is not to go on the road,
Right.
So she goes, well, why don't you become a loan officer, see if I can, they'll hire you where I work. I says, okay, I have nothing to lose. So 24 years later, I'm still doing it. So I kind of eased up on the comedy and kind of dedicated myself to, at the end result is I make people happy both ways, and either through comedy at the end of the show or the final result is people get a new home, so they're happy.
So you laughed them into signing the
I
contract?
laughed them into signing. I might joke, I might play around with people and have fun with them, but I know my stuff.
All right, so speaking of knowing your stuff, Mr. Cordone,
Right.
tell us about the process and how, well, we'll start off with how a veteran, what are the benefits of a veteran has to go in your office and get
I have no clue. Oh, no. I'm kidding. Yeah, a minute ago, I just told you I had all my stuff. That's my comedy kicking in. No. There's a lot of veteran benefits that are available. Now, I don't know a lot of them.
Right.
I don't know, but the one thing I do know is VA benefits for homes.
Okay.
And if the VA did anything right, that's the one they hit. That is the best program out there. It's better than any loan available. FHA, conventional, any loan available. And here's the sad part, Steve. There's over, 200,000 veterans here in Las Vegas?
About 330.
300,000. Do you realize that we do less VA loans in this town than we do with anything else?
Why is that?
I have no idea.
They don't want to commit, or you don't think they want to commit?
Maybe they're not educated enough.
Probably. Educate them.
And that's my goal, though. It's simple. You have a DD-214, come see me. That's basically what it boils down to. We get your certificate of eligibility, and what it is, you can go up to $400,000 here in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I walk you through the process. One thing about my sales ability is I'm old school.
Right.
I don't say go on the internet and I'll see you later. I walk them every step of the way. Okay? And because people buy homes, it's scary to them. They don't know. It's free.
So how much does a veteran have to make to qualify for that $400,000?
Depending on how much they want to spend, okay, is what they qualify for. If your combined income, say, the missus and him and her, could be a female veteran, $100,000 will get you in a $400,000 home, depending on your debt. It's all debt ratio.
What does that mean? $100,000 get you to $400,000.
$100,000 a year in income. Okay.
To get you to $400,000.
$400,000. But a lot of people want to go to $250,000. It varies. The best thing to do is come and see me. That's what I try to do. I try pre-qualifying people. A lot of people get them misconstrued.
That's a big house at $400,000.
Oh yeah, it's like that fortress used to own.
I didn't even pay nearly that.
I know. By the time they were done, I heard they were putting gold in there. It was so safe, But anyways, best thing, what I tell people to do is, a lot of people go out and they look for a house, then their wives, they get together and they go, I want to buy a house.
Right.
Well, the first thing you do is call a realtor.
Right.
Well, that's the last thing you should do. The first thing you do is you call a lender.
Right.
Because the lender
Get
decides.
qualified.
Yeah.
You don't want to look at that big house
Right,
and you can't afford it.
Because you know what? You know what the realtor is going to do? She's going to send you to a lender.
Right.
So come to me first, eliminate the middle person. Let's see how much you're approved for.
Right.
Let's make sure I can get them approved in a half hour. Right after I get the documentation, I press a little button,
Right.
goes right to the Veterans Affairs,
Okay.
and if they like what they see, they go, approved.
So let me ask you some serious questions.
Sure.
What kind of credit score you need to have?
You can go as low as 600. I prefer 640. That's like the safe route.
Right.
It's 600 with circumstances.
600 with
Yeah,
circumstances.
with circumstances. What I try to tell people, if you have a 640 credit score, you're in.
Right.
And your debt ratio, they don't like it to go past 45. I don't know if you're familiar with debt ratio or not.
Familiar with it.
Yeah.
So let's say the veteran only his or her only income is let's say they're 100% disabled.
Yes.
and that's all they get.
Well,
is that
depending on how much,
disability.
it doesn't matter.
Let's say they make $3,600 a month.
A month, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing is
And
disability.
they have no debts.
Right, disability income is not taxable.
Right.
So we can jack up their income 25% because it's not
Oh, wow.
taxable. So they go from $3,600 a month to almost $4,000 a month.
So
Okay, and they have no debt. The most important criteria with any loan is, of course, is credit.
Right.
Okay, if they have good credit,
Right.
that kind of helps them out. And the better the credit, the better the score. Remember, everything is, it's like buying a car.
Right.
Your interest rate is based on credit score, and it works in our in our world too. You know
So-
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So Louis, the one thing I was going to ask, because a lot of people don't know that the income to debt ratio is pretty much what we're talking about, right? That's really important. So say someone comes to you and their income to debt ratio is say really high. So say it's 60%.
They're probably not going to get approved.
Right. So if that's the case, then is there do you know people that you can send them to help them to educate them on how to get that debt ratio down?
Well, you know what? I can do that. You know, the good thing about me is like you're a one-stop shop with me. I don't do cleanup credit. You know, I don't do that. But I kind of talk them through it. You know, I talk them through.
Do you know people do the cleanup credit?
Yes, I do know people. I try not to get in the middle of that. I give them three people, and I say, you know what? Here's three people.
Right, yeah.
You call them. I don't want to get involved because there are people out there that are good, people out there that are scammers. So I don't know which one is which. So I would say, go find somebody who will clean up your credit. There's some good quality people out there. But getting back to your question as far as debt ratio goes, is you got to pay off debt.
Right.
Really what it boils down to is pay off debt. Or, you know, they don't like I say, VA doesn't like to see, it's residual more than anything. With VA, it's residual. I don't know if you're familiar with residual money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's more residual money than is debt to ratio. But they also look at the debt to ratio too.
Okay, because the one thing that I find interesting that I know that a lot of people talk to me about is that I worked as a loan officer for about 4 years.
Right.
So one of the things that I found interesting is that a lot of people would come to me and their debt ratio would be about 60%. So then I would send them to pretty much what you did. I tried to stay out of it, but I was like, here's three people that you might want to talk to. And then when they would do it, they said they would pay off some debt. It was really hard to get off the credit report.
Well, no, it's not, because usually I'm only disagreeing with you because how long ago were you a loan officer?
Oh, this was a while ago, like 2000.
Yeah, the times have changed in 16 years. The CFPB has really gotten on our industry.
Well, what is CFPB?
The Credit Protection Bureau?
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, they monitor our world and anybody who's credit card people.
Right.
They're just trying to protect the consumer.
Right.
Sometimes they go to the extreme, but I can see where they're coming from. It used to be much easier back in the 2000s. In that time, you could smile and have a lemonade stand. Hey, that's income. Okay, I can get you a house. Those days are over.
Yeah, that's kind of what it ended up. And that's, in my opinion, that's why the housing bubble.
Right.
The whole thing.
Right. Well, that whole thing around that too, because I had a lot, because the money that I make, I had a lot of my friends are like, dude, the amount of money you make, do you realize what kind of house you could live in? Yeah. Look what we're doing right now. Those same people are now renting or living in apartments.
Right.
Because of that bubble.
The people who made money on it during that period were flippers. Okay, those are the people. They'd be in a house for 5 months, 6 months, and then resell it. Make 30, 40, 50,000. They would have straw buyers. Remember that word, straw buyers?
Right.
You just go in people and buy it and pay them a couple of dollars. And of course a lot of people get caught. But that was the end of that type of world. Our industry now is no different than what it was back prior to 2008. You have to qualify for a loan. Really, what it boils down to, And like I say, I'm really involved with the the veterans loan people, and hopefully, Steve, you and we mentioned that we're going to be meeting more and more people.
So tell us the benefits of having a VA loan. It's no money down. Do we have to pay PMI? Do we have to pay closing costs? Blah blah blah. Do we have to pay for a house inspection?
Okay, here's how it works. You come in. Let's say you want to buy a $300,000 house.
Right.
Okay,
that's a nice house at $300,000.
Right. If you're
that's a nice house.
That's with a pool.
Yeah, with a pool
And a jacuzzi.
and a jacuzzi
Do we get a French maid?
and a moat. like your old house.
In the pearly gates.
Yeah, in the moat.
How about the French maid?
There you go. No French maid.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So what you want to buy a $300,000 house?
Right.
Well, you come and see me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I pre-qualify. Make sure you qualify for that house.
Okay.
Now there's 3 funding fees, 2 funding fees.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a disabled veteran, there's no funding fee.
No funded.
None. First-time home buyers, 2.15. That's financed into your loan. Okay, that's your
It's
funding
in there.
fee. It's you just find it. If you're buying a $300,000 house with $1 down, add 2.5 to your loan %, and that'll be your new loan.
Gotcha.
That goes to the VA.
Gotcha.
If you're a second-time user of your VA, it's 3.25.
Gotcha.
So the $300,000 house, add 3.25 to your loan amount, and that's what it's going to be. Okay. There is no PMI.
And explain
Okay.
PMI, what that
PMI is private mortgage insurance.
Okay.
And what that is, that's an insurance that the lender makes you take out when you put less than 20% down on a conventional loan. Okay? That doesn't apply in VA. There is no PMI. None. Even if you put no money down, there's no PMI.
Gotcha.
In FHA, you pay PMI forever. Unfortunately,
That
those rules have
sucks.
changed. Yeah, even if you put 20% down, you pay PMI forever under FHA. That's why it's so phenomenal. This VA loan is just so great. You know, it's a great way of doing things. And then what I do is I refer you to some realtors who basically work with veterans. I have a couple of great realtors that work with veterans. So I try, who are involved in the veteran affairs and so on and so forth. So I kind of try to match them. And of course personalities have to match too. So,
Right.
There's some people with that. And then they just look for a house. And as far as closing costs go, there's some that you that are called non-allowables, and then there's allowables. Non-allowables is you can charge underwriting, but you can't charge processing. Yeah. So
Say that again.
Okay. You can charge underwriting, but you can't charge processing.
Okay.
You can charge title, but you can't charge escrow.
Gotcha.
There's different ones. But in today's world, I help them with what I try to do is I help them with, as a lender, I help them with closing costs, and a lot of times too, the seller will contribute towards closing costs. So basically, if you play your cards right and you're with a good lender and a good realtor, chances are you're going to walk in there with no money down, nothing. You're walking in with a free house.
So I could afford the French maid then?
Yes, you could.
Okay.
As long as your debt ratio is normal, you're good. But that's the benefit of it.
I don't like the dust, Louis. I just want to put that out there.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
But it's a great. Please, use it. Use it. It's so sad that here in Las Vegas and Southern Nevada, very few veterans use their benefits.
What do you think that is?
Steve, you're more involved in that than I am. So we're going to change that. You and I.
Okay.
We're going to get involved with more veteran associations, more veteran programs, and help those people get in homes.
Yeah, Louis. After
Yes.
the show, do you have a card on you?
I have one in my car. Yes.
Okay, good. I'm gonna get it from you. My brother's a vet.
Yes.
And he just moved back from Northern California, and why go rent? I mean,
I agree. What kind of work does he do? If you know what I mean?
actually, no, he's a surveillance director.
Okay, so as long as he's in the same field and he's got a job here, it's no problem.
Yeah.
That's another thing. You have to be in the same field for 2 years. You don't have to be in the same job. You just have to be in the same field.
Just to let you know, I want to buy another house myself.
Okay.
But I'm not on this house because of privacy reasons.
Okay.
And only Heidi's on this house.
Okay.
And so I would have, but I want to keep this house. I don't want to sell
Well,
it.
it's under Heidi's name, so it's irrelevant. Let's go buy a house.
That's simple.
Yeah, it's simple. As long as your credit's good and your
Oh,
income's
my credit's good.
Your income's good?
My income is great.
Consistent income for 2 years?
Oh yeah.
Same field?
Yeah.
Let's go buy a house.
And I have no debt.
Okay, but there's a funny
Except for
situation.
utilities.
Right, but this is
And-
exactly...
and Jim
right,
Jonas.
this is what I'm
That's
talking
it.
Right, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Here is a guy who's involved in Veterans Affairs
Right.
and saying, well, now I can buy one. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It took me to come in here to tell him that.
So it's a lack of knowledge.
It's not gonna exactly.
Yeah.
So my objective and my goal is to put a lot of veterans in homes this year, and in the future here in Las Vegas. Wherever I need to go to do it, I'm going to do it. It's just that it's a career for me. I mean, I do VAs and I do FHAs and I do conventionals. I'm not just a one shop,
Right.
but I really believe that veterans are getting shortchanged in this market, and there's no reason for it.
Louis, one of the things that I found interesting that you brought up is when and even though I did it for a couple years, it was just a part-time thing, being a loan officer. But one of the things that I always found interesting is, like, I had one realtor that I worked with, and she would, just kind of like what you're talking about earlier, somebody would come to her, then she would send them to me.
Exactly.
I think it's interesting the way you're talking about they need to come to you,
Right.
and then you'll send them to the realtor.
Exactly.
Because then it makes it easier.
Right. What basically happens is they're going to send them to me anyways.
Right, correct.
Okay, because no good realtor is going to put somebody in their car and spend 3 days with them not knowing if they even qualify for a loan.
Right.
So they're going to call me, and they're going to say, and I get it all the time. And the great thing with me is you get me 7 days a week. I'm not one of those, I go home at 5 o'clock. Not with my clients. I don't do that, and I don't do that with my realtors.
And I have my own realtor. She's a little blonde.
Okay, that's good. That's not a problem.
She's blonde?
Yeah, that's
shocking.
a shocker. Yeah. We're all real surprised, Steve.
Yeah. Steve's doing his rendition of Louis Armstrong. It's a wonderful world. But, geez, it made me lose my train of thought there for a minute.
You remember that redhead I was married to, Louis?
Yeah.
Okay. And I had to, like, move along.
There you go. Life goes on.
She was part Irish, too, just to let you know, Troy.
So
That's good.
Right. So what I do is I qualify him, and the realtor will take him out. And the worst thing to do, Jim, and you were involved in the industry. So you bring them into your office. They're looking at a $300,000 house. They've been looking for days, and they finally found their house. Now they come and see you. You got a contract offer and a whole bit. You bring them in your house, in your office, and they want to qualify for $250,000.
Right.
What happens?
They got to come with $50,000.
You just lost them as a buyer because there is no $250,000 house that's going to make them because they just seen that $300,000.
They just saw the house they liked.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it's very, very important for them to come and see me. Let's get them on the right foot. Let's see, because I look at everything. I look at their income and I look at their savings. If they don't have money, a lot of people, a lot of veterans got money, and let's say they have $10,000, and they find the right house. And if the seller's not willing to contribute any closing, there's certain closing costs we have to contribute to a veteran. But let's say it is what it is. I don't want to give you anything. So I help them a little bit. But if they really like the house, then there's ways of doing things, where they'll just pay for their own closing costs, and they're called the allowables.
And just to let you know, Louis, I'm not coming with no money.
Okay.
I'm a conservative Republican.
There you go.
And I'm very frugal.
There you go.
If I'm going to come with any money, it's somebody else's money.
Whatever you need to do, buddy. Whatever
I'm just letting you know.
Okay, whatever you need to do, you need to be gifted, buddy.
Hey, Louis, one question I got for you is, have you ever run into a situation where somebody qualifies? All the paperwork works out, and technically they qualify, but there's just something you just know that, like, this person isn't probably going to be able to afford this, to pay they're probably not going to be able to do it. How does your conscience work on that one? You cannot answer if you want to. That's fine.
No, absolutely. I have people come in. It happened in the past.
Yeah.
Okay, in the past, but I call it the prior 2008. We used to get that all the time. You got a landscaper buying a $400,000 house and making $13 an hour, but you're going stated income. You go, this ain't gonna happen.
Right.
But you know what? Back in I used to work for a broker back in those days, and I would say let's say the secondary market, who's no longer in business, companies like Countrywide, I'm not saying Countrywide, but companies like Countrywide will come to us and give us all these promotional things and go, you need to sell this, you need to sell this, you need to sell this. Well, if I don't sell you a home, he's only going to go next door to the next guy.
Right.
And I got the guy telling me, and I'm telling the guy, this guy doesn't qualify, he's not going to make it. Doesn't matter. Well, those days are over.
Well, that's good, because that was one of the things that was really disappointing to me too. Was I just looked at it and I'm like, they'll be fine for that first 3 years, but once that arm is gone,
right? Nobody puts people on arms anymore. And it's a rarity. I put them in a 30-year fix, in a 15-year fix. That's what they look at. People are very conservative today. The number one buying market here in Nevada is the Hispanic market.
Right.
Number one by far. And which is a good market. You know, we have in my office we have a lot of Hispanic-speaking loan officers that they're always in there. I mean, people are just buying. God bless them. You know, good for them. But that's what I'm saying. Here we are, veterans who, you know, I mean, defend our country.
Right.
I mean, here's a benefit that you should utilize beyond belief. Utilize it. You know, utilize. If you're going to stay here in Las Vegas, utilize it.
Yeah, Steve. Utilize it.
I'm going to utilize it. I'm going to utilize the hell out of it.
I would if I were you.
No. So what about you? You've been very quiet over there.
Yeah.
I've just been absorbing. I mean, I know nothing about this industry other than the fact that I've watched a lot of people lose houses and stuff over that bubble and stuff. Are you going to be in the market to No,
do you own or what?
I own my home.
You want to get another one?
No.
Okay.
I like where I live.
You know what? Come to think of it,
A renter. You could be a slumlord.
I'm glad I got
No.
hold of it. There's one other thing too. Speaking of veterans, Streamline.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with a Streamline VA refinance.
No.
Streamline refinance for veterans. So let's say they bought 4 or 5 years ago, and then the rate was higher and the rate's lower now.
Okay.
They can streamline their loan.
What does that mean?
That means I can lower the rate.
Okay.
Okay. All I have to do is a mortgage rating, and of course that they have a job, but I don't have to qualify for income. I don't have to do anything. Don't need an appraisal. Don't need nothing. Just streamline. It's called a streamline.
So what's the interest rate right now on the
on the VA? Probably about 3.875, 3.75 to 4, depending.
That's a 30-year fix?
That's a 30-year fix. Okay. Yeah, VA is a tad above FHA. A tad.
So what was that thing that was going on that caused the bubble? That thing that they jumped 2 years and it jumps up more and you pay this, pay 1%.
Oh, the pay option arm?
The arm.
Yeah,
that arm that was screwing everybody.
Adjustable rate mortgage.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah. So, like, you would get somebody into a loan, and for, like, the first 3 years, they'd be paying some ridiculously low amount, but then...
Like an interest payment or something of that.
Pretty much just straight interest, and then...
Nothing on the principal.
And then after that, once that 3 years hit, then all of a sudden they get this bill, and their house payment just went up like 400% in 1 month.
The biggest sellers of pay option arms during my time of that period was Countrywide. They came into our office and they showed us this pay option arm. Now, back in the day, the higher the rate, the more we made. I mean, we're all greedy at one time.
Yeah.
We all fell into that category. It's not like that anymore. I make the same if I sell a 2% or a 20% loan. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, of course, you know what I mean? I have no incentive to say, well, let me raise your rate because I'm going to make more money. It's not there anymore. Those days are over.
Well, that's good.
Anything over above par pricing, and the definition of par pricing is they pay their own closing costs,
right,
and life goes on. It's called par pricing. Excuse me. And what happens is we raise the rate a little bit to cover their closing costs. A lot of them don't have money. You know,
right.
Some veterans say, you know what, I only got $1,000. Okay, you're willing to pay this much. So let's say the rate today, I'm just for throwing it out, is 4%. So I come to you, I go to Steve and I say, okay, Steve, you have any money? He goes, no. So I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. If you allow me to go to 4 1/4, which is going to change your payment $30, I can give you $2,000 in closing costs. Okay? But I can give that to you now. Now, $30, by the time he catches up to that $2,000, it's going to be 7 years.
Right.
Okay? So take the money now and run. You see what I mean? Because in 7 years, probably you won't be in that house anyways.
Yeah.
Because the turnaround time here in Vegas is like 7, 8 years, and you go out and buy another house. So that's what a lot of people are doing. That's why I was telling you, helping them out. But the streamline is really good because you can, and here's the funny thing about it. You can, the funding fee on the streamline is 1/2 a point on a streamline. You know how you have the VA funding fee?
Yeah.
On a streamline,
a 1/2 point.
1/2 a point.
Wow.
Add it onto your loan.
Well,
0.50.
Well, Louis, we only got a couple minutes left, so I just want you for the last. Can you just tell give the listeners your contact information,
right,
and then just how they can get in contact with you?
Sure. My name is Louis Cordone. I work for Freedom Mortgage here in Las Vegas. My office is 8905 West Post, which is right next to Sunset, where the IKEA is, right near the IKEA, the new IKEA.
So you can get furniture after they get a house.
Right.
Okay.
So I always tell people call me directly on my cell. So go get a pen. Okay, you got the pen?
There you go.
Okay, go get a
Yeah,
pen.
Louis, you need to run for office.
Yeah, all right. My direct phone number, 702-203-7920. Again, that's 702-203-7920. Call me right after the show. I'll be 10 minutes. I'll be available for you. And if you need me tomorrow, Father's Day, what better gift you can give yourself is a home.
Happy Father's Day.
And happy Father's Day, thank you, and all the fathers out there in the room here. Happy Father's Day. Feel free to call me, 702-203-7920.
Well, Louis Cordone, thank you so much.
Thank you for
program.
having me.
That's Louis Cordone. Use them to get your new homes, all you veterans out there. This is Steve Sanson, Jim Jonas, and Troy Warren, Veterans of Politics. Until next week.